it seemed from the beginning that you couldn't have, that the process of reconciliation that was happening in Sierra Leone had universal lessons that the world needed to learn from. And that's proved to be incredibly true.
You know, it's really time for all of us to stop talking about saving Africa and to find ways to be learning from Africa. And as the journalist, as the person who kind of told this story, that's very much at the heart of how I perceive this amazing work. That it's about, learning from Africa. Because in the media, Africa is a place of disaster, war, famine, conflict, rape. That is all we hold up. And I am just so stunned by the fact that Africa has answers that invite our humility. We're very inspired by the Nigerian writer Ben Okri, who is an amazing passage about, you can go find it in the artist's statement because I can't quote it by heart, but he says it's time for a new seeing of Africa. And he speaks about how the West came with eyes of greed, and how it's time to see the beauty in Africa and the light in Africa to come with the eyes of love. And that what you see will be revealed. What you look for will be revealed. And I think that's an inspiration. So if you look for what in the culture is there to teach you. Right, you'll be taught. There's so many incredible stories of amazing work happening by courageous people in the middle of the most desperate circumstances doing just amazing things, that I have always felt like the world needed to learn these stories. The peace-building community tells those stories, well, first of all, they don't tell them very well. And when they do tell them, they tell them in academic jargon through academic papers. And I think that we need to find ways to communicate them to ordinary people. An image speaks so much more strongly often than words. We're not storytelling about our work to get somebody else to do something. Storytelling is our work, because when you share the stories, then that's what opens up somebody else, to be able to do with it what they want in their own thought and in their own experience. Because we're not trying to impose anything on anybody else's thought. We're just trying to let the story, as much as possible, speak for itself. And these are pretty powerful stories. Intuitively, we all knew that this was big and that it had the potential to impact people in pretty significant ways at the level of character and also at the level of policy. And that we needed to make a commitment to do this storytelling right. And I don't think we knew, I didn't anyway, have any idea exactly how it would be used or what it would be like. But we knew A, that we needed to do it, and B, if we're going to do it, we're going to do it right. And just like, our way of doing the program has been emergent. We start with something and see what grows from it and pay attention to it and then develop it according to that. The process of the film development has really been emergent also. We knew we needed to film, and as it grew, we began to see more and more and more what we had. And just as the story came to tell itself, I think the film came to reveal itself. I don't think we knew at the very beginning of this process how big this could ultimately become, how many sacred spaces could be created and how many different worlds to have these kinds of conversations. But I think from the beginning we understood that the story of this culture, this program that relies on resolving conflict through conversation, I think we knew from the beginning that the film itself would be conversation. How to best support countries rebuilding after war will be different as a result of learning about Fambul Tok. I think realistically that's where we can make the most impact. John has showed it to smaller groups of people who've just been blown away by what the film has let them enter a world that allows them to engage with these issues and ideas without it being a didactic. Because you get it viscerally, you suddenly are confronted with, oh my gosh, there's a different way of doing it than we've been doing it. So it invites it creates the space, like the program does, to sit down and have more conversations. And I think people are genuinely wanting to figure out better ways of doing it. So it's not like, oh my God, you're the enemy. It's like, wow, we can think in new ways.